Right now, at this very moment, there is a silent battle happening inside your body. You can't feel it. You can't hear it. But it's happening inside your arteries with every single heartbeat. And here's the frightening truth most seniors were never told. Most people have been watching the wrong blood pressure number their entire lives. For decades, doctors told us to focus on the bottom number, the diastolic pressure, that quiet number under the line, the one that looks calm and harmless. But groundbreaking research has completely flipped that advice on its head. A massive study tracking over 1 million adults found that one blood pressure number predicts heart attacks and strokes with shocking accuracy in people over 60. The other barely mattered at all. This isn't a small difference. It's the difference between feeling safe and actually being safe. And the most disturbing part is that this information sat buried in medical journals for years while millions of seniors focused on the wrong thing. Today, that changes. By the end of this video, you'll know which blood pressure number truly matters after 60, why aging arteries completely change the rules, the hidden patterns most home readings miss, and what you can start doing today to lower your real risk. But first, tell us in the comments how old you are and where you're watching from. We read every comment. Now let's begin. Number 5. The diastolic deception. Let's start with something that surprises almost everyone. That bottom number, the diastolic pressure, becomes far less important as you age. Diastolic pressure measures the force in your arteries when your heart is resting between beats. It matters a great deal in younger adults, but after 60, its predictive power fades dramatically. A long-term study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology followed more than 8,000 adults for over 20 years. Researchers found that in people under 50, high diastolic pressure strongly predicted heart disease, but in people over 60, that connection nearly disappeared. Once systolic pressure was accounted for, diastolic pressure told researchers almost nothing about future heart attacks or strokes. So why does this happen? Because your arteries change. When you're young, arteries are elastic, like a rubber band. They stretch and recoil easily with each heartbeat. But over decades, elastin is replaced with stiff collagen, calcium deposits build up, and arterial walls lose flexibility. Your heart now has to push blood through stiff pipes instead of soft tubing. The result is that systolic pressure rises while diastolic pressure stays the same or even drops. This leads to something extremely common after age 65. Isolated systolic hypertension. Up to 30% of seniors have a condition called isolated systolic hypertension. This means the top number is high while the bottom number looks normal. For years, doctors brushed this off as just aging. That was a dangerous mistake. The long-running Framingham Heart Study showed that isolated systolic hypertension dramatically increases the risk of stroke, heart failure, and kidney disease, even when the bottom number looks fine. The takeaway is simple. If you're over 60 and your top number is creeping up, do not ignore it just because the bottom number looks reassuring. Number 4. The pulse pressure gap. Now let's talk about a number most people never calculate. Pulse pressure. Pulse pressure is simply the difference between your systolic and diastolic readings. For example, a reading of 140 over 80 gives a pulse pressure of 60. A reading of 130 over 60 gives a pulse pressure of 70. The systolic numbers are similar, but the risk is very different. A major study of nearly 20,000 older adults found that every 10-point increase in pulse pressure raised cardiovascular risk by about 13%, even when both numbers looked acceptable. Pulse pressure reveals arterial stiffness. Think of a garden hose. A flexible hose absorbs pressure, but a rigid hose transmits force directly. Stiff arteries send every heartbeat's force straight to your brain, kidneys, and heart. Over time, this constant pounding damages small blood vessels. The Rotterdam study found that pulse pressure predicted cognitive decline and dementia better than either blood pressure number alone. As a general guideline, A pulse pressure over 60 signals elevated risk, and over 80 raises serious concern. Lowering pulse pressure means focusing on systolic pressure, not pushing diastolic lower. Number 3. The morning blood pressure surge. Here's something most seniors never measure. Blood pressure doesn't stay the same all day. For many people, the most dangerous time is the first few hours after waking. Heart attacks and strokes occur most often between 6 a.m. and noon. This happens because of the morning blood pressure surge. A Japanese study followed over 4,000 seniors, measuring nighttime and waking blood pressure. Researchers discovered that people whose pressure jumped 55 points or more in the morning had more than double the risk of stroke, even if their average blood pressure looked fine. This surge happens because cortisol rises, adrenaline increases, blood thickens slightly from dehydration, and platelets become stickier. In stiff aging arteries, this daily surge becomes a repeated assault. What can you do? Measure your blood pressure within 1 hour of waking and compare it to your evening readings. A consistent difference of 40 points or more deserves medical attention. Simple habits help too. Drink water immediately upon waking, eat breakfast within 2 hours, and do gentle movements before standing up. Small changes can offer big protection. Number 2. Blood pressure variability. Now let's talk about something even doctors often overlook: how much your blood pressure fluctuates. A major analysis published in the Lancet Neurology looked at data from 77,000 patients. The results were striking. People with high visit-to-visit systolic variability had a 65% higher risk of stroke, even when their average blood pressure was the same. Constant up and down pressure stresses artery walls, destabilizes plaque, and accelerates vessel damage. It's like bending a wire repeatedly. Eventually, it snaps. Variability increases due to aging baroreceptors, short-acting medications, and inconsistent pill timing. What helps is taking medications at the same time daily, using long-acting medications when appropriate, and measuring blood pressure consistently. Stability protects your arteries. Number 1. The systolic truth. After all the research, one fact stands above everything else. For seniors, systolic blood pressure is the number that matters most. The evidence is overwhelming. The SPRINT trial followed over 9,000 adults and compared two targets, systolic under 140 versus systolic under 120. The group with lower systolic pressure experienced 25% fewer heart attacks and strokes and 27% fewer deaths from all causes. The benefits were strongest in people over 75. Why? Because stiff arteries can't absorb pressure. Every heartbeat sends force directly to vital organs. Over millions of beats, that damage adds up. Lowering systolic pressure works. Proven tools include reducing sodium, following a DASH-style diet, regular aerobic activity, weight loss if needed, and improving sleep and stress control. The goal isn't perfect numbers. It's understanding which number matters, which patterns signal danger, and how to reduce real risk.